Right guys, Freddy Fabricated back here again, and I'm working on the tow dolly today. I put these tires on. They probably have less than 1,000 miles on them. The cheap Chinese junk. That's all the tires I could seem to get for these rims. They're a 13-inch rim, and they basically don't make a good American tire, or any good tires for that matter. So I did some research. I tried to measure this bolt pattern as best I could, and it seems to be the same as my Honda Civic. 2013 Honda Civic is like a 5 by 4.5 bolt pattern. So I found a bunch of tires and rims on Facebook Marketplace, and I'm gonna see if they fit. All right, before we get started, I'm gonna spray a little WD-40 on here, on each one, just like that. I seem to be like a 13/16 socket, but it's really tight. So I'm gonna try a 7/8. It's a little loose, but it's working. But hopefully I could just take them off and have the lug nuts fall right out. Guys, everything was going nice and smooth until I tried to put the tire on. And I obviously missed this. You guys can probably see it right now. The bolt pattern looks to be the same, but the inner diameter of the rim is much smaller. So when I try to fit the Civic tire onto the steel tow dolly hub, it does not go on. The hub inside diameter is much too big. So if you see this here, you know, if I just roughly put my fingers like that and then I come over to this guy, you can see how much bigger it is. So we've got to figure out a way now to cut out the inside of this guy to match that. All right, so the first idea I've come up with, and I'm not sure if this is going to be my final decision here. Hopefully you guys can see this. If I'm not blocking it, I got a nice hole saw arrangement here. I got to find one that's very similar to the diameter of this rim. Wow, that is almost perfect. Huh. Let me take this over here and see. Okay, I got a lot of wiggle room, guys. So I don't necessarily need to go that big, even though that's the size. Okay, that one's roughly the same size again. All right, I'm just gonna keep messing with these until I find one. And I think that works nice. Oh, that goes perfect right over this piece. And it'll leave me enough meat, should leave on the inside. What I'm gonna have to do is come up with a creative way to mount this on my milling machine, and then bring this down, put a lot of lube, and I'll mill it out. So I'm trying to come up with the easiest idea possible for this, guys. I was gonna try to make a disc and, you know, have a pilot hole in the middle for the hole saw, but I ended up just finding this little piece of scrap I had saved. It's like a 1/4 inch thick. I'm going to just, you know, on the grinder, cut it down slightly so I can put the welds on the edges right here. Drill a hole in the center on the drill press for the pilot hole for the hole saw. Lube it up real good, and just, you know, obviously weld it on, put a couple tack welds on each end, and use that for my center guide. It doesn't have to be perfect. These wheels center themselves on the lugs. That's why lug nuts are tapered, in case someone listening to this didn't know. So that'll hold the center. I just need to make this hole large enough to fit over the hub, like I said before. Okay, so I cleaned up the piece. I got it as square as I can so it could fit in my little vise on the drill press. I'm gonna drill a small pilot hole. Actually, I'm not gonna do that. All right, so I cleaned up the piece in the grinder. I got it as square as I could to mount in my little drill press vise. Probably gonna knock that down here to level it out. I'm going to mic it from end to end. Whatever number I get, I'll take half of that. I'll set the caliper on that half, and then I'll scribe the center of it, and that'll be my mark to drill. You don't have to get this perfect, guys. It's just holding the hole saw straight. But like I said before, you're just trying to make this hole large enough so it fits over the other hub. All right, I zeroed it out. Now, try to do this one-handed. Okay. All right. 2.739. I'm going to take half of that and I'll get right back to you guys with that number. The number is 1.369. So 1 inch, 369 thousandths. I'm going to take this like this, and really hard to do with one hand, but you get the idea of what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to hold the left side of the caliper solid and just make a little bit of scribe with this right guy. And I do the same thing from this side, like that, and like that. That's going to be my center mark. I've also put a centering drill bit in here. Maybe that'll help so you could see it. Not giving you the finger, guys, just the finger I had available. All right, that's good enough. That's going to be my centering point now. Now I'll go get the drill bit that's in the hole saw. I'll take that out and I'll use that exact drill bit to drill my hole. I'm just going to clean up this top surface right here with the grinder, and I'll weld this guy on just like that. Like I said, doesn't have to be perfect. I did want to grind this down just a hair more to get it flush with this round cylinder here, but I forgot to do it and I'm not going to do it now. So I'm just going to put a tack weld here, 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 and here, and then I'll go get my big drill and I'll lube this up all around the edges here. And I'm gonna try to drill it by hand first. If I have a lot of problems drilling it by hand, then I'm gonna figure out how to mount this rim up on my Bridgeport milling machine. But I'd like to do it by hand just to kind of show you guys, hopefully it can be done this way. Not everyone has access to a mill, so seeing it done like this would really help people out. Woo! All right, guys. Two things I would do differently. I think I would try to put a little more lube and take, some breaks. I mean, I'm gonna do another one, so I'll try it in a minute. I definitely do not recommend doing this with shorts on, but I was knee deep in it already, no pun intended. So I didn't want to stop to go put pants on. The other thing was I did not have the hole saw perpendicular to the rim when I did it. So it did cut one side first, and then what that did was it gave it a little wobble because the centering piece of steel wasn't holding that tight. But all in all, I mean, I can't complain. It worked pretty good. I'm gonna go bring it outside now, and I'll test fit it on the trailer. All right, they fit, but I forgot about the offset on the Civic rims. You can see the trailer rims don't have much of an offset. They're pretty much, maybe a little bit, but the tire's also thinner. These tires are 195s. These trailer tires are very thin. I don't know what they are, but they're 175s. A little bit wider. But anyway, so they fit beautiful. The lug nuts will center it, like I said before. Just have a little bit more of a stick out. I have new fenders that I'm putting on anyway. So what I should be able to do, the fender is mounted on the outside of this support bracket. So I'm gonna take these nuts off. I'll probably have to torch them off or grind them off anyway. I'm trying to save this backing plate because my new fenders unfortunately don't have it. They're just a skin on the top. I'm going to try to mount this on the flip side, and maybe I'll have to space it out. We'll see. Worst case scenario, guys, I'll just cut this off and I'll move this whole bracket out a little bit so that I could cover the tires again. All in all, they look pretty good. Just gonna be a little wider than it was, but I don't see that being a problem. All right, guys, kind of jumped ahead a little bit. Forgot about filming. You can see here, I cut off what was left of this fender. Here's the piece. It's in pretty bad shape. Might be able to salvage these supports here. I cut them off and clean them up, but I have the new fenders in my shop. I just have to work on this little edge. This is where the original fender kind of hung over. And I guess it was spot welded somehow. Most of that's coming off. Just been peeling this down. I think I could just continue with the screwdriver and hammer, peel that down all the way. Over here, I probably got to cut it and grind it. And the same over there, because I kind of welded it on over time. But once I get it off, I'll straighten this out with the hammer and dolly. And then hopefully I could just tack weld the new fender on.